So I'm going to talk about passwords. Now, passwords, who here likes passwords? No, they're oh, right, okay. You get one. You always get one, don't you?
I know, I was in IT for 20 years, so yeah.
Oh, okay, so you'll know all about this. So passwords are a necessary evil. And I'm all about how we get rid of passwords. This is what my business is all about. So I'll give you a bit of background. So how many passwords do people actually have in their personal lives? Is it 10, 20, 30, 40? I don't know.
One.
Everyone has one and they use it for everything. And what do the IT security people say? You know, make them complex, make them all different. Don't make them easy to guess or copy and so on. And what do? We have one for everything, or variations on one. Anyone know of a thing called rainbow tables? Rainbow tables are tables used primarily by organised crime to guess what your passwords are from the passwords that they actually know about you. So people know that you actually have very, very limited passwords. So given that you actually have to keep them all secret and keep them all different and keep them all, how do you remember them? How do you remember them? So you remember them by sticking them in your browser, and you remember them by writing them on pieces of paper. And what happens when you forget them? Well, you have to replace them, put up a new one. What happens when they're stolen? It's a real problem. And the biggest problem at the moment with the kind of, identity theft is at epidemic proportions. And so one of the big problems is having to reset your passwords all the time, having to change them all the time. Of course, what we don't actually do any of that. And the methods for resetting pins and passwords, like getting an email or getting a one-time SMS, completely inadequate for security applications. So passwords are a 60-year-old technology, served us well. They're not going to go away. They're still going to be around. But for mass market use, these are completely inadequate. They are completely flawed. They are clumsy, inconvenient, and, there is a better way. And I am here to talk about the better way. So the better way is biometrics. So many of you would have already come across biometric technologies in the form of face recognition and iris scanning and, of course, fingerprints. And no doubt you've got fingerprint readers on your smartphones, on your iPads, on your devices. How much more convenient are biometric technologies than pins and passwords? It's not as though the fingerprint has completely replaced the pin or password, but it actually goes a long way to actually making it a lot easier. And one of those biometrics is voice. Now, like your fingerprint, your voice is unique. Now, when you actually measure that statement scientifically, and I know it's quite a complex thing to measure from a scientific point of view, it comes out that voice is about 4 to 5 times more unique than your fingerprint, which means that it actually is a very powerful way of authenticating your identity. Now, voice is a very interesting artifact of the human condition. I mean, of all the animals, we're the only ones that use sound in this complex manner to communicate with each other. And but as well as communicating, what it is you want and what it is you're after and describing things, it's also revealing your identity. It's also revealing lots of other things about you. It reveals your gender. It reveals your ethnicity, your social economic background, to a certain extent your age, and to a certain extent your health. So voice is a very powerful technology, very powerful signature, if you like, that reveals not just what you want, but actually who you are, and in many cases, how you feel about things. So from that perspective, it becomes a very powerful medium for authenticating identity and for improving customer service. So with all that, your voice, you are who you say you are, and that's a literal statement, not just a figurative one. You actually are who you say you are. So we're actually currently at the start of a revolution in voice, computer voice communications. Now, Siri, we've all heard of Siri. We've all heard of of all the other forms, Cortana, Google speech processing. Voice is now winding its way into your life. And of course, we've now seen IoT devices such as Alexa and the other devices start to emerge and become a mass market form of providing a computer interface for asking for things what you want. But these devices are very stupid. Whilst they might know what you are saying, they actually have no idea of who you are. And that's very important, because all you can do at the moment is ask for very insecure things, such as what the weather's going to be like, and play some music, and very kind of trivial matters. But the next step, of course, is actually embedding a voice biometric capability into such devices, so that they not only know what it is you want, but they actually know that you're actually authorized to do that transaction on the bank, such as, pay my bills, or buy this product, or, open my social media, or tell me who sent me emails today, or open my voicemail. All these communications that are private and confidential, your voice now becomes a way in which you authenticate your identity for access to those secure services. And it is so simple, because all you need to do is ask. And because this technology knows who you are, there is no pins, there are no passwords, it's just your voice. So open my bank account. There it is. It's my bank account, not somebody else's bank account. It's, my social media, not somebody else's social media. And if somebody tries to break into my bank account or my social media or my emails, then it's not going to allow you in, because the voice does not match. And what is more, we can check that voice against our list of known fraudsters, people trying to hack accounts. We can record those voices that are trying to hack the accounts into our database of known fraudsters, so we can actually track where the fraud is happening, and we can tie that fraud back to individuals. The most important thing about this is, of course, not that the technology is kind of knowing who you are. It's actually knowing that it is not you wanting to do that dubious transaction to buy those goods and services that are illegal on the internet, or make those transactions to organisations that are outlawed and of dubious character. It's actually protecting you from all of that type of process. And of course, it's invisible. It's completely seamless. It's as you speak, the system knows it's you, and that you can act on your word, confident that it is you that is actually saying those instructions. So there you go. There's the future. Secure voice communications. You are who you say you are. The technology which is being developed here in Malvern at Beta Den is there to secure your personal data, to secure your privacy, and also to deliver massive convenience to you and eliminate all those pesky passwords.